Hi, it's Marilyn Price with the Mentor Project. I brought along a friend to help me with my story today. Very special to me because to stretch in language here, I adopted him from the Lincoln Park Zoo. If you're a member, or which I hope everyone is out there in the greater Chicago area, you can adopt an animal. I didn't have to take the real one home, but I did get to take this little hippo dude home. Hi, buddy. You're not a puppet, are you? Mm-mm. So I'm just going to talk about you a little bit before we get into our celebration of hippopotamuses. Oh, so excited. That is something you'll never see a hippopotamus do. If you're lucky, that would be to jump up and down in excitement. They're not particularly friendly to you and me, the mammals, also, like he is a mammal, or maybe, no, it's definitely a he. And I know that because I named him Henry. Henry the hippo, or Henry the happy hippo, because he's in captivity in my house. Now, what does hippo mean? I'm so glad you asked. It's from an ancient Greek word, hippopotamus. Probably doesn't sound ancient Greek to you because you know it now. You know some ancient Greek. But if you translate it, hippo means horse, and potamus means river. And he was horse of the river. Now, maybe you would think that Henry and all of his family don't live in the river, but they actually most of the day live in the river. It's where they mate, make new hippos, and it is where they eat mostly. And it is also at dawn when it gets dusk, excuse me, when it gets a little bit cooler, they will leave the water and then they will eat outside. But they can also munch while standing in the water. So they mate in the water, they give birth in the water, and then when it becomes a little bit cooler, they get out of the water, not really far away, because they are very territorial in the water, but not outside. And those are important things to know for our story. Hippopotamuses are not, now maybe for if I were a hippopotamus and you were a hippopotamus, we would find each other terribly attractive. But truth told, when you see one, they are scary, and there's a good reason to be slightly fearful of a real hippopotamus, not my stuffed Henry here. And why is that? Because they are very careful about anybody encroaching on their territory. And when they feel threatened, they attack. So if you see a hippopotamus while you're walking in their water, get out of town or get out of water. So there's lots to be learned about a hippopotamus. We have several living in our zoo, and you happen to live in Cincinnati, you could go see a baby hippo that was just born there. And when I say baby, I'm not talking like my baby. I'm talking a baby hippo, which is a big baby. So I'm going to just sit my friend Henry right down here and introduce you to a story which is very special to me because you probably figured this out, like hippos. And I collect them. I have some friends that actually give me hippos. So let me introduce you to one. Matter of fact, let's take the one out. You ready, buddy? Sure thing. Okay. Maybe I'll come a little closer to the camera so you can see. This is a hippo. Now, you will never see a red hippo with daisies unless you come to my house or anyone else who collects these. This was not my first hippo I got on my collection, but he's going to be used in my story today. And I am hoping that if you have a collection of anything, I also have a collection of geese, and then, of course, I have a collection of puppets, and they help me tell stories too. So if you have a collection of anything, you should be able to use them to tell stories. Like animals, maybe you have superheroes. Maybe you collect statues with the bobbly head things. You can use them to tell stories too. Everything makes a story. Oh, let me take it back. Things will help you tell stories. So here is my brief story told with hippopotami, which is the plural, by the way. So here we go. Once upon a time, there were a mama hippo and her brand new baby hippo. Mm-mm-mm. Now, they had been born in the water, of course, and now Mama needed to go and get nourishment for the baby. So she told Baby Hippo to stay exactly where Baby Hippo was, and she would come back for him as soon as she found some nourishment. And off she went. Now, Mama Hippo was very wise because they have great instincts about how to find food. But after all, she just had a baby, so she was a little bit concerned about which way to go. She started to go that way, wrong way. And then she went that way, and then she came upon a mountain, which is very odd in the middle of where Mama and baby lived. So she climbed up the mountain looking for help all different ways. Now, as I mentioned before, outside of the water, hippopotamuses get along quite well. But inside the water, where she was no longer, not so much. So it was easy enough to look for help, but then she came to a nice grassy field and started to munch. When a voice came to Mama, and the voice said, "Who is munching on my field?" "Oh, it's me. I just had a baby, a beautiful baby." "Wow, good fortune for you." "I think so too. And I need to bring baby some food." "Oh, I do not have very much. And besides, you need to protect yourself." "To protect myself?" "Oh, yes. You need to find the rest." "The rest of what?" "The rest of the hippopotamus." "Oh, would you help me?" she said. Well, of course. And so they went on their trek, looking for a hippopotamus. They went up the mountain and down to the other side. They swam through the river. Now, they got along quite well because they knew each other and they weren't threatening at all. But pretty soon they found that they came back to the spot where baby hippo had been born, and their baby was waiting anxiously for Mama. "Mama, Mama." "Oh, hello. Wow, what a handsome baby you have," said her new friend. "He looks quite a lot like me." "And me as well. But we need some help. We need to find the rest." And so they continued their journey. They went up the mountain. They went down to the other side. They chewed a little bit because dusk had come. And when they had finished eating, they decided they would go back to the mountain and look around up there. And so they did. The three of them looked to the right and looked to the left. Baby even climbed up on top of Mama's head so he could see farther, but to no avail. And then all of a sudden the mountain began to shake. "Oh no, oh dear." And so the brand new friend ran all the way down and looked underneath the mountain to see what he could see, and poof, they emerged. All that they had been looking for. There were many hippos underneath what was really not a mountain at all, and they were trying to catch a little sleep. Mama looked around to see if they were willing to share outside of the water, and they were. There was one, and then there was two, and then there was a three, and four, and five, and six, and seven, and eight, and nine, and 10, and Mama made 11. It was a tribe of 11 hippopotami. And so excited was Mama that she decided that they should have a party. They were all welcome into the hippo circle. They sang hippo folk tales. And of course, you know, and I know, that they welcomed the new and lived hippily ever after. And that is the story of looking for friends, sharing your space. And then there's one other celebration we need to have. Today is almost the end of this year of 2022. It has had its surprises. It has had its good news and it has had its trouble. I wish you the end of that word, and I wish that you will have a circle of friends gathering around you, and that you will have a happy new year. I thank you from the Mentor Project. I am Marilyn Price. You can see us again on YouTube. You can share us with your friends. You can listen on a podcast. You can collect hippopotamuses as well. And especially, you can live as I do, happily ever after and during. And that's the truth.